अरे आने तो दो. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Shruti, belongs to Center for Climate Change and Water Research of Suresh Gyan Vihar University. Welcome you all in career question and answer session, where we are going to discuss on GIS applications and future career prospects. Now, when we are doing the GIS applications and its career prospects, first of all, we need to discuss about the GIS, what it is, then the applications area of GIS, then what kind of courses we are offering at our SGVU and Center for Climate Change and Water Research. Syllabi, what kind of syllabi the students have, and the practical, what kind of practical exposures of different softwares, instruments, field trips we are giving to our students to make them a full package. About the faculties, it is again very important thing that what kind of faculties are in the center, what kind of, because it is a research center, so what kind of research activity the center is into, conferences, seminars, workshop, what kind of these training programs we are organizing, and what kind of these programs are being attended by the students also, also are in the process. Then, without the job prospects or the future prospects, what kind of jobs the students are getting, without the information or without the discussion on those topics, the I think the course is not uh, having its full outcome. So we are also going to discuss about the job prospects in government, private, and different fellowships what the students are getting. Lastly, the center is what kind of placements is providing to its students. So one by one, we are going to discuss all these aspects. Now, first, I'm starting with the introduction part of GIS. Now, what is GIS? A GIS is a system specially designed to capture, store, manipulate, analyze, manage, and presentation of different kinds of geographical data sets. Now the question arises, what is geographical data? Now geographical data is basically that data in which we have the locational information of the earth features. So in GIS platform, what is the plus point is that we can correlate these spatial data sets with its properties, which is also known as the non-spatial data sets. So integration of these spatial and non-spatial data set is basically a function of GIS through different softwares, through different techniques or different modeling techniques which are available with the GIS. If we are talking about the different data sets, geographical data sets, they are in the form of different maps, different satellite images, or different other kinds of map which we can get from the historical data sets. Then, if we are talking about the non-spatial data sets, they are in the forms of maybe reports, maybe some tabular data, maybe some other kind of data sets. So we can incorporate both the data sets in a single platform with the help of GIS softwares. So this is about the GIS. So it is a single platform where we can do all these kinds of things. Now, coming towards why we need this kind of GIS as a subject or as a tool. So for identifying, as you all are knowing that in real world we have lots many land use land cover features, or you can call them as a resources, man-made resources or the natural resources. To identify those resources on map, we need a proper process. And after it, identifying these resources, we need a system where we can store these features or resources as a map format in a single platform, and yes, with the storage of these data sets, we now have to go for different kinds of analysis where we can have an idea that what kind of impacts are taking place because of the utilization of these resources, whether it has got some positive impact on the environmental health or whether it has got some negative impact on the environmental health side. So identification of the impact is also we can do with the help of these GIS tools in any of the fields. We are either talking about the urban planning, we are either talking about the environmental pollutions, etc. So all these impacts can be, impacts can be calculated with these GIS techniques. Then for quick decisions and actions based on these extraction techniques or the evaluations which we have done earlier, we can go for different kinds of decision making tools. Then the strategic planning and the management of these natural resources, we can go for the strategic planning. So if we see the trend of these need of GIS, starting from the identifying of the object, okay, mapping of those objects with their spatial and non-spatial properties, we are also calculating the impacts, and finally we these impacts are helpful for the decision makers to take any kind of actions, to take any kind of planning and management, which is fruitful for different kinds of analysis, whether it is related to the urban planning, whether it is related to the environmental health, whether it is related to different health objectives, or whether it is related to the different transportation related problems, or maybe cadastral mapping, land information system. So all kinds of planning we need a GIS. So this is the need of GIS. Then we have, in GIS, we have a concept of 4Ms. Now, what this 4M stands for? We can go for, as in the, definition part, I have told you that we can go for different kinds of mapping. We can also go for the measurement of the different objects, like what is the expansion of different kinds of land use and land cover classes on the earth surface at different levels. Then we can go for monitoring also of these features or objects. We can, what kind of monitoring we can go? We can go for the change detection, that what kind of change in a temporal time period is taking place. Then we can model these changes in a form of map. Okay, we can compare those maps. Now what are the conditions in 1999, what are the condition in 2005, 2009, followed by maybe current situation. So these 4M is the basic concept behind the GIS, where we can go for mapping, measuring, monitoring and modeling. Then I am coming towards the application areas. Now, what are the application areas? Now, as per my discussion, you may got some idea about the application area. Now, in crux, what I can say, ki GIS is a mother of all the subjects, because many areas like land management system, you must have heard about the land information system, where we are dealing with the storing of a lot of land related information, what kind of land this is, whether it is industrial area, whether it is commercial land, whether it is residential land, institutional land. So these kind of information has to be there in the land management related activities. Now based on these kind of things, we can go for a proper tax management. For that we need a proper land management system. We should know what kind of land holdings the people are having, if we have this land management system, we can easily compare that in 1999 what kind of land parcels we have in a particular area, or maybe in a state, or maybe in a national level, whatever scale you want to go for, you can we can go for the land management system. Nowadays every state has its own land management system. Then we can go for the resource inventories. As in the need, I have already discussed that from scratch, from the identification of resources up to how these natural resources or resources are being exploited, or what kind of the remedial processes we can go for, these all kind of analysis or applications of GIS can be in the resource inventory. Now watershed analysis also can be taken place. Now in the areas where there is a scarcity of water, we can go for different kinds of watershed modeling, watershed water potential mapping, and the site selection for the water potential zones. This kind of analysis we can go for the water resource area of the GIS. Then we have the site selection. Now, what kind of site selections we can go for? We can have, different layers, that what is the site which is suitable for opening a school? What kind of areas which are, good for habitat suitability site selection. So different kinds of whatever you can, bank suitability, bank ATM suitability, whatever you want to think of, we can go with the help of different spatial and non-spatial interrelation of data sets. We can have that in our application area. Then if we are talking about the engineering backgrounds, so for civil, we can go for different kinds of dam suitability analysis. We can go for the water potential area mapping. We can go for the habitat suitability of different forested areas. We can go for different kinds of demographic analysis, where the population explosion is very high, where no population explosion is there. So that kind of demographic analysis we can also go for. Then we can go for different kinds of topographic analysis. Topographic analysis is related with the different kind of elevation models, slope aspect models, where we can taking the topographical parameter or relief related parameters into consideration, and and these parameters are helpful for any kind of analysis. Then we can also go for the spread and diffusion, especially in case of any pandemic, any disaster management activities. We can go for pre and post analysis of the particular disaster. What is the spread, what is the diffusion of that particular problem is that. So base, if we know the spread, so we can come out with the management strategies for future and for the current scenario. Then we can go for the facility mapping. Okay, I was talking about the urban planning. So in for an urban area, what kind of utilities and facilities can be managed, that can be also done with the help of different data sets. Then the resources exploration, like in mining areas or in quarry areas, we can go for the exploration activities. Now after the exploration of these mines, how can we restore that particular land? That can be done with the help of GIS, because we are putting all the data in a singular platform. Then we can also go for the spatial measurements of the features. Like if we are talking about the mining areas, so what is the expansion of a particular mining area in that particular area? So spatial measurements of that can be done with the help of GIS. We can go for different aerial statistics of that area. Then we have the corridor selections. Then you must be aware of the human habitat corridors. Every habitat has its corridors. So how to manage those corridors? how to do that kind of analysis. GIS again an helpful tool for that also. Then this is all about the application areas. Now I want to put few examples, recent examples on the application areas of GIS. Now you all must have seen the encroachment of Chinese government into the uh, Indian areas. So while you all are seeing the news and the news channels, so every analysis is done with the help of these remote sensing imageries, these remote sense GIS techniques. Every analysis is being done with the help of the GIS and remote sensing applications. They are getting the information about the movement of troops, how they can see, able to see that, because nobody can go into those areas physically. So satellite images are the tools through which they can go for different kinds of analysis, whether it is related to the movement of the different troops, whether it is related to the encroachment, how they came to know that the Chinese has encroached into our lands. Based on the satellite images, they can able to see that this was earlier into the Indian periphery and now it is being captured by. So in prior basis, they got the information and they have taken the preventive measurements based on this application of GIS. Then you have seen the second example is related to this pandemic situation, which has existed nowadays. So with the help of this GIS, GPS technologies, we are able to locate the hotspot of these pandemics and how the spread of these pandemics are spreading over an area, and what are the areas which is impacted most, which are the areas needed the maximum of attention as far as the medical facilities are concerned. What How we can calculate those red zones, green zones, orange zones, based on the different parameters which we need to take into consideration, maybe population, maybe the number of cases in that particular area. So that kind of analysis is also being done with the application of GIS. Then we can take an example of the disaster management part of this GIS applications. You must have seen the recent cyclonic activity which took place in Odisha and the West Bengal part of it. So how they have got an information based on the meteorological satellites, they got an information that there is an proximity of different kinds of simulation models are there, in which we can put the actual parameters, are what are the actual parameters needed for phenomena to ignite. So based on those simulation activities, we can have an idea that what kind of disaster can be and how to manage. That's how they have evacuated the places in which they have assumed that the loss can be maximum. So we can able to manage those life loss of life of people through the simulation modeling in GIS. And this so these are there are lot many areas of application of this GIS tool. So as the application area is very wide, so the people who can come into the courses related to GIS, that is again a wide. Now we can have a brief about the courses which we are offering and how SGVU is better than other universities in offering these subjects that we are going to discuss. Now about the courses, Dr. Sudhanshu, who is the Chief Mentor and Director of the Center for Climate Change, is a great visionary and educationalist and a great thinker. He always thinks for the solutions of various problems related to the real world, maybe land, water, and air related issues, and their sustainable management, which leads to the opening of various R&D related courses like MSc in geoinformatics, MTech in geoinformatics. So with the vision of Dr. Sudhanshu, uh, uh, we are able to offer these courses under his direction and guidance. So the courses offered are at undergraduate level, we have BSc Geology and Geography honors. The eligibility for this course is either +2 with the PCM or PCB. In geography we have an uh, uh, option of humanity students also. They can also have this BA geography honors based on +2 humanities. Then we have also opened up with the BTech program in geoinformatics. The eligibility for this is +2 12th with the with PCB or PCN. Then we have the postgraduate programs as MSc Geoinformatics and MTech Geoinformatics. Now the criteria or the eligibility for MSc students in Geoinformatics is BSc in Geography or BA Geography or any other BSc people can come and join this course. Other than that, BCA people can also come and join this course. Then we have MTech program. In MTech, we have the minimum eligibility as BTech in any of the engineering or technology. Be it BTech geoinformatics can be directly taken into consideration, and along with that, any MSc people can come and join. As you have seen, the application area is very wide. So you have seen there an application of forestry, an application of disaster management. So we have in admissions we are open ended. So all these people can come into these courses. We have also the doctoral program in geoinformatics. So these are the details about the courses we are offering in the center. Now, why one should, join the SGVU, whereas uh, very few universities having this geoinformatics course. Uh, but in those few universities we are the best, we can say. Why? Because we have a unique syllabi designed in which we have courses like artificial intelligence, big data analytics, geostatistics, programming languages like Python, C++, Oracle, machine learning, etc. Along with that, advances courses on GIS, GPS, remote sensing, image processing techniques, and their application in different areas is being taught here. Then, along with these theoretical subjects, we are also professionally training. We have a paper of professional trainings, soft skills, employability skills, success score, proficiency, and curricular activities in their curriculum. So, along with the various theoretical subjects, people are getting exposure into different professional trainings, soft skills. They can improve their soft skill because it is a part of their syllabi. Then employability, here they can get an exposure to different employability related areas, etc. Along with that, we also take care about their proficiency and curricular activities. Then we have field exposures and technical trainings to various institutes and industries like DRDO, ISRO, Space Application Centers, NRSC, Survey of India, Forest Survey of India, FRI, Forest Research Institute, Geographical Survey of India, Geological Survey of India, TCS, DROLTA, ISRI. So these are the various, organizations at government and private sector. Other than this, there are lot many institutes where our students can get exposure to different, training programs and the technical training programs. Other than this, there are various state departments also where they can have an exposure as far as their trainings and institutes are concerned. Then, after the trainings, we also look after the different kinds of certificate programs which we run in the center. So that the center runs various EduSet programs, certificate programs in collaboration with the IIRS, ISRO, Government of India, where our students get an opportunity to interact with the eminent scientists who are working in various ISRO missions. So, along with all these things which we have discussed earlier, our students get an opportunity where they can interact with these different scientists directly through these certificate program. Also, they can get the certificate along with their degree program. Then about the practical exposures, as I any subject without the practical exposures of different software and instrument is incomplete. So we are also giving our students exposures to various open source software which are related to image processing, GIS modeling, mapping, and photogrammetry, etc. So we are looking after for their software exposures also. We are also taking care that the student must get the exposure in instruments also. So we are giving them an exposure in GPS, DGPS, stereoscopes, total station, automated water level finders, automated weather station, water testing kits, theodolites, dumpy levels, Brinton compass, etc. So these are the instruments within the university. We are making our students perfect in that, so that they can be a full package as far as their theoretical knowledge is concerned, as far as their extracurricular activities are concerned, as far as their instrumental trainings are concerned, along with the field exposures to different organizations and on field. Then we have an open access to Survey of India topographical maps for purely lab experiment purpose, and satellite images of different resolutions we are having, aerial photographs in digital formats we are having, we have digital library of ebooks, and we have our world class library in the campus, that is our house of wisdom. In case of this pandemic also, we are able to arrange the virtual labs and classes for our students through learning management system, which is again a very rare point of the university. Very few university could able to do so in such a pandemic conditions. So I can say that in such a pandemic also, our students, they got an exposure to the academics as well as the virtual labs. Then other than this, these are all about the instruments, softwares which the people are getting exposure, the theory, the field excursions. Other than that, we have best classrooms, labs, Wi-Fi campus with the facility of House of Wisdom, having a facility of studying late nights around 9 p.m., etc. So with the academic exposure of SGVU, also provide an atmosphere to its students where they can have an exposure to the sports activities, like we have cricket grounds, so we have frequent cricket tournaments here in the SGVU, football ground we have, volleyball ground, gym, indoor games, courts, TT courts, badmintons, etc. So with academics, we are also looking after the physical or the sports activities of the students. Then we have students from all about around the globe. Like we have students from Ghana, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, etc. So, looking after all these things into consideration, they require a platform where they can, exchange the socio-culture activities. To maintain that socio-culture activities, we have a collegiate system where they can interact with, different students from different countries, and they can exchange their socio-culture trends among themselves. So we have this collegiate system also. Then we also conduct different kinds of culture fest like youth festivals, sport fest, technical fest every year for the overall development of the students. We take care of each and every student individually also. For that, we have a process of industrial mentoring of every student where the student can interact with the industry person directly. They are being allotted with the industrial mentors, and they can have directly the industrial exposures. Then we have a process of PT, which is also known as personal tutoring, where the student is allotted with the PT, and here he or she may discuss their grievance, their happiness, their any other matter which is related to maybe their studies. So they can freely come to that personal tutor of theirs, and they can discuss anything, whatever they want. So we provide that platform also. So you must have seen that that's how we are different, because we are looking after each and every aspect of student, not only the academics, not only their growth of practical approach. We are also concentrating about the overall development of the student, whether it is related to sports, culture, or maybe their other industrial exposures, or their personal or any other grievance. So that's how we are different, and we can say that SGVU is the best for overall development of any students. So after this discussion on syllabi, on different exposures, what SGVU has, it is also mandatory to have what kind of faculties we are having in the center. As far as faculties are concerned, we have in our centers people from IITs, National Institute of Technologies, Birla Institute of Technology, Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, Punjab University, and HPTU, etc. With significant publications, citations against their name, and which are in the field of remote sensing, GIS, disaster management, and many others. So we have people who has specialization in forestry, who has specialization in water, agriculture, disaster management, and then geology, civil, etc. So every exposure with whatever you want, you can get in our center, because we have dynamic faculty members in our center. The center has also visiting faculties, scientists of national and international organizations and universities. Frequently, they visit our university, they give their lectures which are based on their specializations, so that the students can get in recent exposures of the subject. So this is about the faculties. Then we are, as a research center, we developed, so after the curriculum, after the faculties, it will be incomplete if I'm not talking about the research activities which are taking place in the center, or if I'm not discussing about the conferences and workshops which we are organizing as organizers, or which our students, our faculties are, attending at different levels. The center is involved in book publications, book chapters publications, and research papers published in various international publication houses having an importance of SCI, Scopus, UGC, PubMed journals, like in the publication houses like Springer, Taylor Francis, Elsevier, Wiley, Emerald, etc., and so many. So center is actively participating in these kind of research activities also. The conferences, seminars, and workshops. We are also organizing frequently the seminars, conferences, and workshops. We have our annual convention, which is known as Annual Convention on Climate Change and Water Research, which is every year organized by the center. Now, what is the aim of this conferences and seminars? Here we can get a platform where different eminent scholars, eminent scientists, social workers, policymakers, academicians, research scholars, students can interact and discuss on the same problem on a single platform and come out with the remedies which can be used for the sustainable management. So this is the basic concept why we organize these kind of conferences, seminars, and workshops. Then after this, um, this is all about the research. Now it is important to know about what kind of opportunities the students are getting while they are opting for these courses. The students, firstly, if they want to pursue for different jobs, we have three options. Now what are these three options? These are, they can go for higher education, having scholarship from different organizations like DST, UGC, Commonwealth, etc. They, secondly, they can opt for the government jobs or the government sector jobs, like different scientists, different teaching positions, different research scientist positions in maybe different ministries, different universities, different state departments. Okay, that is the option of government jobs. And then we have the third option, which is based on the private companies job, which are offering, let me tell you, very good packages as far as this subject is concerned. So people are having different specializations, because you have seen that people from forestry, from botany, from mathematics are coming for this GIS, maybe undergraduate or maybe PG program or PhD program. So they can have exposure if they want for higher studies. We have scholarships like emeritus scholarship, postgraduate Indira Gandhi scholarship for single girl child, postgraduate merit scholarship for the university rank holder. Okay, then research fellowship for sciences and meritorious students, DS Kothari scholarship for medical sciences and engineering, then a PDF scholarship. After their PhD also they can have an exposure of postdoctoral studies. In postdoctoral studies we have got very good scholarship options. They get around 50-55,000 while they are pursuing their PhD or postdoctoral studies. Then we have Rajiv Gandhi National Fellowship for SC/ST candidates. This is a special tribe, special persons of the society to improve them. Government has also come out with the Rajiv Gandhi Fellowship, where you get very good scholarship amounts with the contingency. Then UGC new scheme for providing special honorarium to teachers. at least 2 years of science academics identified by UGC. Then GRF also, RA also you can get at national level and at international level also. Then GRF in engineering and technology. Then postdoctoral fellowships for women we have with DST. Then Maulana Azad scholarship for minority students we have. So these are lot many fellowships which are there for the students who wants to pursue for higher education, whether it is PG or whether it is PhD or maybe after PhD for the postdoctoral studies. For MTech students, if they have GATE or this kind of things, they can also get scholarship during their MTech uh, based on their GATE score. Okay, so these are the scholarship options with us. Then we have, I have talking about the second thing, which is uh, government jobs. I have discussed, you have many openings as a scientist in ISRO, space application centers, then different ministries, Ministry of Urban Planning, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of this water resources. Then we have, in every state we have the same departments, uh, where we have groundwater department, where we have forest department, where we have, so there are lot many options as far starting from JRF to up to the scientist level or up to the teaching. Then we have a option of teaching. So in teaching also you can go for after PhD or after MSc or MTech, as the minimum criteria is MTech or MSc. So we don't have directly the UGC net in our geoinformatics or GIS, but yes, people who are coming from geography, they can appear in geography. People who are coming from forestry background, they can go for that ICAR. Then people who are coming from geology, they can go for earth sciences CSIR net. And then people who are from engineering side, they can also try for different allied subjects. So this is all about the openings in different scholarships, fellowships for higher education, as well as in the job prospect in the government sectors. Then we have the private sector jobs. We have different companies like Rolta, RMSI, then ILNFS, then this what do you call uh, Infosys, all are looking for GIS personals. So from GIS technician, GIS analyst, GIS scientist, project team leader, project member, you can get these kind of posts depending upon your interview. We train them uh, as a full package. Now it's up to you how you are appearing in the interview. So you can get a job starting from maybe at least 20,000 for our MSc student, and for 35,000 minimum job I'm telling about, 35,000 for MTech students. So and BTech also we have got results of maybe 50,000, of minimum of 20,000 and maximum of 70, 80, 1 lakh package you can get. Now that depends on your capability to crack the interviews. We are there to support you in every uh, situation. Okay, so these are the career prospects. Now I would also like to mention the placements which the center has took place in last year. We were have 100% placements as far as the job or internship are concerned. uh, in MTech, almost all the students got placed, and their package was minimum 5 lakh and maximum 10 lakh. So every student got placed, and one or two students, they want to pursue their higher education, so they went for their PhD from UK. Then for MSc, we have got minimum package of 6 lakh, and 5 to 6 lakh package, and then everybody is placed in different companies as a GIS trainee, as a JRF, as a uh, GIS analyst and GIS technician, etc. And few students also went for higher educations. Then our recent batch who are going to pass out in 2020 now, so they are also having their internship done from very reputed institutes like Space Application Center Jodhpur, Space Application Center Jammu and Kashmir, Space Application Center Haryana, and then some of them they have got into the different private companies also very good, like Wipro, like Geo Solutions Private Limited, then RMSI, etc. So this is all about the complete package of the GIS and their applications and the future prospects. So with this, I would like to conclude my session. Like GIS has a wide scope of applications as well as the future career prospects. So if you have any queries, you can ask me. Let me see my chat box. So okay, so few people have queries that what kind of jobs they can get. So as I have told, if that depends on student that you want to go for opt for higher education, there also you have very good options. You want to opt for um, the private sector jobs, there also we have, as I have told you, that our first batch who passed out, they got a package of 6 to 10 lakhs for MSc and MTech students. So that's it. With this, thank you very much for listening me, and if you have any question you can drop in my chat box. Thank you very much.